Clover's range of margarines and spreads. Classic spread. Mama Bake.
Margie, how do you know what we like?
I know someone who knows.
Spread the Margie love.
Made with love by Clover.
We're in the kitchen, baby, and helping us whip up all things fresh, lovely as we continue to celebrate Garden Day is Chef Chart and Chef Jay. Welcome back, gents.
Thank you. Oh, lovely to be here. And how sort of bright and cheerful is everybody?
Yes.
You know?
Very. I'm
indeed.
loving the flower. I'm loving the addition. I'm here for it, King. Oh, you've also got a little flower.
One, and I've got something to say, Pali. Gardens are a girl's best friend.
Ah, Chisa. Not the, and he hit us with a boob.
Ew.
Did you even know that we're on
Sheepless.
Broadway right now?
My goodness, Jay. I think you maybe need to move to a different TV show. Huh?
We're
So
here
good.
for all of the razzmatazz. Now, let's add that razzmatazz to the incredible dishes that we're going to be whipping up today. Now, to celebrate Garden Day, we're sorting you out with this quick and easy pizza in a pan for one, filled with the freshest ingredients. And with Clover Classic Fat Spread, it is a perfect flatbread in a hurry, because we are continuing the theme of flatbread.
Flatbreads, quick and easy, and especially with, Garden Day, it's a great way to just pick a few of your seasonal ingredients out of your garden, out of your fridge, and make something special.
Let's get into it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to start with the base, which is the pizza base, which we're going to do a little bit sort of differently and not so traditionally per se. But flatbreads, unleavened breads, as we like to call them, don't always have a raising agent. But actually, we have some baking powder in this one. But to my mixing bowl, I'm going to add in some flour, some baking powder. Now, I still want to keep it flat, as we all term there, but I want a little bit of lightness and fluffiness. You want sort of something that's very soggy and sort of stodgy. Absolutely. A bit of salt. Salt's always so important because that's going to bring out the flavour. Then with some yogurt. So let's just take our yogurt and pop that into there. And then with water. Now, you're going to go, Chart, this ratio is looking way out.
I've got questions.
Absolutely. But what we're going to do is we want something that's really what I call quite tacky and very elastic. So it needs to be wet to the touch. And I think Jay's got one there, so I'm going to start mixing this, and Jay's going to show us there what that's
Oh, is that the consistency?
This is the sort of the consistency you're looking for, Pali, and I've always wanted to say this, but here's one we made it before. So what I'm going to do, Pali, is I'm going to start frying this off. It needs a bit of time to cook through. Okay. I'm going to start with 1 or 2 knobs of our Clover Classic Fat Spread, which is an ideal, versatile, fat spread that is so good for cooking, baking, and frying. So I'm going to just, you need something that's going to allow it to not to stick, but it also enriches it with a flavour. Remember, there's a touch of clover cream in there, so you've got a lot of creaminess in there. Not too hot as well, because remember, it is going to rise slightly, so you will need some time to cook it through. I'm going to go in with our batter. You can see the consistency we're looking for, and you can use the back of the spoon to start spreading that out so that it reaches the end of the pan. Now, you can see, Pali, this is the perfect quantity for one person.
Yeah.
So, if you're in Singleton out there, you can just whip together your quick little flatbread and be quiet on your own.
Yeah. For me, it's all about these quick, easy, and delicious recipes. This one was actually inspired by our producer, our home girl, Anel. Shout out to you, Anel. Just giving us those ideas and that inspiration that we need in the kitchen. And that's what it's about.
Well, that's exactly what it's about. And, you don't have to wait for the yeast to get going like a traditional sort of pizza dough. So it's something quick and easy, and that instant puff, because that baking powder is going to react straight away. You're going to get a wonderful sort of much softer crust by using a sort of a fat spread than with using something like oil, because oil is going to sort of crispen up in a much higher temperature, so it's going to really get much more crispy outside. But you're going to have a wonderful sort of voluptuous sort of bit on the end there.
Yeah.
And those tomatoes are just going to sort of blister and sort of leach into that a bit, right?
Precisely. And you should practically or ideally cut the tomatoes, but I like that surprise, that little pop in your mouth as you're biting into it. And we're going to use some cheese, and I'll tell you why. Because we're actually going to fold this in half. And the cheese, again, helps with binding the two sides together. And just a quick tip for the viewers at home, when you start seeing the surface of the flatbread going a bit opaque, a bit dull, that's when you know it's sort of getting ready to flip. Now, we're not going to flip it over, just as a flatbread. We're going to add our fillings, fold it in half, let that cheese do the magic, and bind it together.
Absolutely. And also make sure your pan is also hot enough, because sometimes when we put something in, and something like a wet dough like this, it can actually stick to the pan. But if it does do that, just leave it alone. Allow it to create a seal between the
between.
product and the pan itself. It'll come away quite easily like that. And you can see how, as Joe was mentioning, it's cooking up on the sides there beautifully. And then you need to be brave and just do it in one go, hey?
The shape kind of looks like an omelette. The taste says pizza, pizza, pizza. So here for it. It's juicy, it's tasty, it's not dry at all. So thank you for this, guys.
Absolute pleasure.
Anytime.
Quick and easy.
Lalela, if you want to get your hands on this recipe, simply head over to afternoonexpress.co.za. We're continuing to celebrate Garden Day and flatbreads.